The mission of the union should be to represent its members,
to promote,
defend,
and vindicate
the rights of its members on all levels of society.
This is the SU office. Here you can get your student leave card printed, pick up some free condoms or period products, or maybe grab a freebie from our freebie desk. When you order your locker on your space, here's where you come to pick up your key. Thanks, Chloe. You can also pick up your SU card here. We'll have more on that later. The SU office is open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m, Monday to Friday, upstairs in Ollscoil.
Hello, Corja. Is Misha Juliana Olia, agus is Misha were last week than Gailge and Léinn. Is as Milgum Ogukis, agus when came and Gailge agus Léinn Nasterchan. Taman Shochan do Kerti Hanga a hostage campus. They may Gannis and Gush the Gailge agus Benyart Imakti agus Krakag and Gaff Nablina. Mata Kesh no Burchag of a re of Winjanga, Jenki Kincha Chagoliana Blum. Slanagus Banacht.
Hi Horda, my name is Tom Ford and I'm your last week Throndon Educus. I'm here to help you with any issues relating to your academic life, be these fees, repeats, exams, or if you have an idea for your course curriculum to make it better, come up to the office and have a chat. I run the class rep system, which you'll hear more about later, and I work closely with the 4 college conveners and the 2 postgraduate officers to make sure that your voice is heard on every committee across the college. If you want to contact me, you can find me at su.education@universityofgalway.ie.
Díomh Chairde is Misha Chloe Anderson an lasúg don Lasa agus Coananis. I'm here for any questions, queries or issues you have with regards to your college experience, such as mental health, sexual health, accommodation, financial aid, accessibility and all of that jazz. If you want to pop up, my office door is always open and we can have a coffee and chat through everything and I'll help you however I can. You can also pop me an email at su.welfare@universityofgalway.ie or else I'm on Instagram at welfare_Cumlaw. I'll see you soon.
Hiya Corja, it's Misha Féini Gonal, Uachtaráin an Comhaltas. The Uachtaráin is the chief spokesperson for the union, so it's my job to represent you, the student, on all university committees. There is no issue too big or too small. I work for you, so please don't hesitate to get in touch. This year, we want Raising Give Week to be one of our biggest and one of our best, so be sure to get involved in our fundraisers we'll be running across campus. Do you want to get a bit more involved with the union? We run a range of committees, such as the Welfare Crew, the Cuiste Gailge, the ENS Crew, and we also organise our class reps. So be sure to get involved. More information will be available on our WhatsApp community. Please don't hesitate to get in touch and pop up if you have a question. You can find me upstairs in the office in Ollscoil, or you can send me an email at su.president@universityofgalway.ie. Gurmina Maigod.
Right across from our SU shop is your SU pantry, which is currently under construction. Follow our social media to find opening hours and when this space will be open. This is a sustainability initiative led by students for students, where we take food from local businesses and redistribute it for free. Follow socials for more.
This is the Shebeen, located in the library basement, open 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. In here you can chat, eat your lunch, study, whatever you'd like.
This is your SU shop where you can pick up goodies, stationery or snacks while you're on a study break from the library just upstairs. Don't forget to use your SU card while in store to pick up great deals and build up points.
This is the SU Cloakroom, a free service where Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you can drop off your jackets, bags, lunch boxes, umbrellas, barons, ukuleles, anything you need really. The staff are always super friendly if you need directions or anything of the sort.
Fáilte go Smokies, Cafe and Cultish, is féidir bíon ó cafe an seo agus má ghlacann tú lón leat an bhaile tá microhon híos an sin agus féidir the lón a héamh suas. Jenny Gikincha do chórta ghlacha leat. Make sure to take your SU card with you and you can earn rewards for every purchase you make, and with every 10 cups of coffee you get 1 free.
And we're live on 101.3. Welcome to Flirt FM, your community radio station. Here you can produce a radio show about any topic that you'd like. If you'd like to get involved, head over to their website flirtfm.ie and fill out their volunteer form.
Welcome to Class Rep Council, everybody. Any questions? Yes, Faye.
What would you describe Class Rep Council as?
Well, Faye, some will call Class Rep Council the beating heart of democracy. Class Rep Council is the foundational body on which the union sits, where you can voice your concerns from your class or raise any ideas you want in the union's work plan for the coming year. If you want to be a class rep, you need to head over to your space and nominate yourself for your class and run in the elections. And if you want to find out more information about what exactly a class rep is, head over to Uni of Galway SU and we'll see you at our first Class Rep Council on October 7th.
Welcome to SULT, your student bar. When you pay your student levy, you're paying towards SU services, and SULT is one of them. This is your bar. Here we host theme nights, quizzes, sex toy bingo, as well as serving hot food until late every single night. Remember the SU card that Julianne showed you earlier? You can use that to get exclusive deals and discounts here in Sult as well. The Students' Union of 1979 set up the College Bar because they wanted to provide a resource for students to go out. It was just an idea to them, and now look at what it's become. Through the Students' Union, you can achieve great things and help so many other students. So don't hesitate to speak your mind and say what you want to see.